Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Ako po si Armand Benco, welcoming you to another episode here in Seminar School Plus. Another learning session brought to you by Colayco Foundation. So, sa dami ng episodes natin na ginawa dito sa Seminar School Plus sa Colayco Foundation at kasama na rin yung KSK Co-op, lagi natin tinuturo yung tamang paghawak ng pera. Pero maraming mga nag-i-email sa inyo or mga nagpo-post dun sa Facebook kapag nilike nila yung Armand Benco, marami nagre-react, ay sinasabi ano ba yung mga basic rules in managing personal finances. Kaya today, you will start a 3 episode series on the 10 commandments in personal finance. Of course, these 10 commandments ay hango dun sa libro na sinulat ni Mr. Francisco J. Colayco, yung Wealth Within Your Reach. Okay, so let's get it started right away dahil 10 commandments to, marami-rami, definitely hindi natin mako-cover lahat ngayon. But why do we need to have basic rules or follow certain commandments? Or simply, why do we have to manage our personal finances? Let me cite the following. Number 1, it's our obligation to manage our personal finances. Simply put, as Warren Buffett said, it is not your fault if you are born poor, but it will be your fault if you die poor. So, take this obligation, the obligation to manage your own personal finances. For one, no one is obligated to manage it for you. Not your employer, not the government, not even God is obligated to manage your personal finances. Not our children in the future, not our parents before. Our parents before and even probably schools or education just guided us. But kung sino ang magmamanage niyan, tayo at tayo lang. Second, the reality that no one gets employed for life. Pero humahaba ang buhay ng tao, even Filipinos. Pwedeng asahan aabot tayo ng 70 in our 70s according to informal studies. So even if you retire at age 60, you have another dozen years or so to live. We might most likely see the children of our children and who knows, even our great-grandchildren. Next, positive news, improving investment climate in the Philippines. No doubt, even this past 2 weeks na medyo naapektuhan ang ating capital market, still, no doubt, there is an improving investment climate in our country. Baliwala lahat yan if we will not take advantage, if we will not participate. Next, you need to have some financial literacy. Not necessarily financial training, that you become accountants or you become rocket scientists to be able to manage your personal finances. As long as you have the basic mindset and the fundamentals of managing personal finance, financial literacy is enough for you. Concern versus control. You will have so many concerns as far as managing your personal finances. About your money, income, and wealth, marami tayong inaalala. Huwag lang natin kalimutan those things that are within our control. So, concern versus control, mamaya I will expound on that. So, ano yung mga nakita namin sa karaniwang Pilipinong manggagawa? For us, Colayco Foundation, who is the first, the most experienced probably, or I should say the most experienced in delivering financial literacy to Filipinos because we've been doing this for 10 years now. Ito yung nakita namin sa karaniwang Pilipinong manggagawa. Whether they are from white-collar, blue-collar, or even OFWs, ganito kadalasan ang karaniwang Pilipinong manggagawa ang tingin niya sa pera. First, most have not started thinking about retirement. Why? Because retirement for most Filipinos is a number, an age. Akala natin ang retirement 60 or 65 lang. But the truth of the matter is, retirement is a state of being. Meaning, kung gusto mo mong mag-retire at naplano mo at magawa mo yung mga dapat mong gawin, you can retire at age 40, 45, or even the golden age of 50 and do what you want to do for the rest of your lives. Dahil most have not started saving for retirement, there's little or no savings at all to speak about. Next, most Filipino working adults are living from paycheck to paycheck. Kung ang sweldo ay 15 and 30, Baka ika-25 pa lang ng buwan, naghihikahos na, ora de peligro na, babali na, o baka hindi pa makapasok sa trabaho. So, ano ang problema dito? Budgeting. Akala ng iba, napakahirap ng budgeting. But budgeting simply, first, writing down all money in and all money out. You should know where your money is coming from. More so, you should know where your money is going to. Yung planado at yung actual, dapat nababudget at namamonitor yan. Next, most Filipinos, siguro miski na hindi Filipino, make most of their major money decisions based on emotions. Walang emosyon sa pera. Miski na masayang-masaya tayo, hindi siya dodoble. Mag-alboroto o magalit tayo, hindi mababawasan ang utang natin. So do what you have to do. Wag lang yan ng emotion kapag kayo gagawa ng desisyon. May bibiling malaking bagay, mag-i-invest, o merong kukunin na utang, dahil excited lang or highly emotional, then you make the major money decision. Avoid doing that. Most Filipino working adults are in too much consumer debt. Housing loan is okay. Car loan, pwede pa. Pero consumer debt, lalo na yung mga ginagamit natin sa credit card, fly now, pay later, kumain sa fancy restaurant at kinaskas ang plastic card. Those consumer type of debts, dapat bawasan natin dahil umutang tayo ng pera, hindi natin binibigyan ng chance lumago. So instead of magamit natin ng gusto yung privilege to borrow money, it actually is a hindrance or detrimental to our desire to be wealthy. Most working Filipinos are not properly protected, meaning properly insured. Excuse me. Most get an insurance policy based from what the agent has offered them. Dapat alam nyo kung anong klaseng insurance ang kinuha nyo at nababagay sa inyo, hindi dahil naialok sa inyo ng insurance company. We had episodes where we talked about insurance. In the coming episodes, we will further talk about personal life insurance, how you will identify and kung paano nababagay sa inyo ang isang particular insurance product. And then next, most Filipinos, walang financial plan. Akala nila ang financial plan, dahil gusto lang nilang yumaman, may plano na sila. Magtatrabaho at magre-retire ako ng 50 or 60 years old. And anything in between that, wala. Bahala na o gagawa ng paraan or depende, nothing written that will guide you. A financial plan is something written that will guard and guide you. It doesn't mean you will follow it A to Z because you actually monitor it and adjust it based on certain changes that happens to your life that will affect your financial decisions. Last but not the least, most Filipino adults, kapag pinag-usapan ng personal finance or financial literacy, akala nila pera lamang. Mamaya, I'll discuss that hindi lang pera ang pinag-uusapan kapag personal finances ang pinag-uusapan. Kapag personal finances ang pinag-uusapan, we aptly called our financial literacy peaceabilities, hindi lang pera ang pinag-uusapan kapag financial literacy. Two other concepts, income and wealth. These three things are very different and distinct from each other. Money, as we learned in school, is just a tool, a medium of exchange. A medium of exchange na pampalit at tinatanggap ng karamihan o halos lahat dahil anyone who, in exchange of goods or services, tinatanggap yung pera na kasalukuyang umiikot sa sirkulasyon. Money is just a tool. It's not the end means. Income is something that we earn. Later, I'll discuss two sources of income. Wealth is something that we accumulate, we protect, and what we can actually share. Money or pera, nauubos. Income or kita, natatapos. Wealth or yaman is pinupundar, pinapalago, pinoprotektahan, at ito ang tunay nating maibabahagi. Now, if you want to manage your personal finances, 5 activities you should be doing. These 5 activities, you miss one, you will not be managing your personal finances well. So, somewhere, somehow, itong 5 activities na ito, dapat ginagawa natin almost on a regular basis. Earning, as long as you're earning enough. Planning, as I've said, kailangan na something nakasulat. Saving, which is most of our topic today. spending, which is probably your favorite activity, and investing. Kaya yan ang pinupunterian ni Mr. Francisco Colayco, pera palaguin. Investing kadalasan ang natatake for granted ng individual as far as managing his or her personal finances. Now, as far as wealth is concerned, literally and figuratively, in our books, we define wealth as a state of being where one can continue to sustain his cost and kind of lifestyle without having to work. So, himayin natin. Kaya niyong tustusan yung pinili niyong klase at halaga ng pamumuhay. Kayo ang pumipili. Hindi dinidikta sa inyo ng employer, hindi na ipipilit sa inyo ng pamilya, hindi nyo ginagaya sa kaibigan o kamag-anak. Kayo ang pipili ng cost and kind of lifestyle na kukunin nyo sa inyong buhay. Kapag kaya nyo tustusan ito ng hindi naghahanap buhay, then you are wealthy. Lahat tayo, pwede nating marating ito. Kaya nga doon sa unang libro ni Mr. Colayco, sinabi niyang wealth is within your reach. This state of being, we can all claim and accomplish and achieve over a period of time. Kaya wealth is very personal. 5 million may be enough for me, may not be enough for most of you. So, wag tayo basta gumaya lang, wag tayong basta naipilit lang, tayo ang magdikta ng ating buhay pinansyal, ng ating sariling yaman. How do you know that you are wealthy? Baka mayaman na kayo ngayon pa lang. For example, if you are needing 10,000 pesos a month, and that is 120,000 pesos a year, if you have 2.4 million pesos of cash, for example, and you put it in a bank that gives you, say, 5% a year, then you are wealthy. You are actually on LOI. What's LOI? Living on interest. Why? Because the interest of 5% in 2.4 million pesos is 10,000 pesos a month. Thus, mayaman kayo. Hindi nyo kailangan magtrabaho. Yung 10,000 pesos a month, dumarating sa inyo coming from your 2.4 million pesos. If you want to have 100,000 pesos times 10, then you should have 24 million pesos earning 5% a year. What are the sources of income? There are two sources of income that we can have in our lifetime. Active income, passive income. What are the differences? Active income is money that you earn coming from your sweat because you have exchanged your own time, you have given your God-given skills and talents, you're given money. That money is called active income. Passive income, you did something with money, it gave you more money, that more money is called passive income. Active income, most of us are very, very concerned about it, but in reality, we cannot control it. If our employer decides to close down or fires us because of whatever reason, it is not within our control that active income will continue to come. But we are very much concerned about it. The opposite, passive income, most of us do not concern ourselves, but actually this is the thing that we can control. Concern versus control, huwag niyong kakalimutan yung mga bagay na within your circle of influence. Active income, you can only earn for a part of your life. When you retire at 60 or 65, no more active income. Passive income, you can earn all your life. You control when to start, you will decide when to stop. The reality in this world, no one will get wealthy or it will be very, very difficult for someone to become wealthy kung aasa lang siya sa active income, sa sweldo niya o sa sahod niya buwan-buwan. You have to have sources of passive income. Simply put. Now going to the discussion of 10 Commandments. This is coming from the book of Mr. Francisco Colayco, Wealth Within Your Reach. Ang unang commandment dyan is pay yourself first. which we will discuss for the rest of today's episode or learning session. The other 9 commandments are the following. Define your financial target at each life phase, because we have 4 life phases in our financial life. Our startup phase, build-up phase, lifestyle phase, and our retirement phase. So, in our next episodes, we will discuss the rest of the commandments, but I'll run down the rest. Commandment number 3, stop spending on things that decline in value. Your gadgets, your vacation that doesn't increase in value at all. Yung mga bagay na wants or luxuries, there are ways and means to spend on them, not your active income. Number 4, yung sinasabi kong most are not properly protected. Protect your greatest income-generating asset, which is yourself. Important lang, you know what kind of protection and you appreciate that this is the protection that you are actually getting, not because it was just simply offered to you. Commandment number 5, beat inflation. You have to grow with the economy. Baka mamaya kasi ipon tayo ng ipon, paying ourselves first, pero yung iniipon natin, hindi sumusulong, umuurong pa. So you got to beat inflation. 6th commandment, trust the power of compound interest. Ilang beses na natin na-discuss the power of compound interest in our previous episodes. We will further show you kung paano nyo dapat ma-appreciate when you save and invest and take advantage of compounding. 7th commandment, assess risks and options. Remember the investment rule. You can never break this. The higher the return, the higher the risks. So do not be afraid of risks. Why? Because it is risks that you can control. Returns, it's beyond your control. But we are very much concerned about it. Risk is where your return will come from. So an investor studies, manages risks, not return. In our episode that we will discuss, commandment number 7, I will expand on that. 8th commandment, make money work for you. The power of leverage. Money leverage and people leverage are the discussion points in commandment number 8. Commandment number 9, invest and diversify. The old investment cliche of do not put all your eggs in one basket is going to be explained in commandment number 9. Last but not the least and equally important, make use of the power of one, the strength in numbers. Like what mutual funds is doing. Imagine your small amount of 5,000 pesos, binabakas nyo sa daang-daang bilyong piso ng isang fund management company, then you are making use the strength of numbers in volume, law of economics, na yung binakas nyo will also enjoy the benefit noong daang-daang bilyong piso. Pag sila lumago ng 20-30%, yung 5,000 nyo, 20 to 30% din ang paglago. Now, let's take the first commandment. Pay yourself first. That simply means one of the 5 activities, kung naalala nyo pa, earning, planning, spending, investing. Commandment number 1 discusses one of the 5 activities, saving. Why? Because our savings is our first source of capital. Most of the Filipinos, more than 90% of Filipinos born, are not rich, are not wealthy. And what's your first capital after probably getting some education? Is you able to save. Kailangan tanggapin na ho natin na tayo nakakapag-ipon, nakakapagtipid, nakakapagsubi, nakakapag-impok. If you cannot save, being wealthy is almost impossible for you. Okay? That will be your first source of capital. Why are we saying that you are paying yourself first when you are saving? Before you pay any utilities, bills, even utang, mag-ipon na kayo, decide right away how much is an amount set aside for you and your future. The common savings equation taught to us back then, even my parents taught me, when the moment they gave me money, sinabihan na ako, Armand, huwag ka masyado magastos. Ha? Every time binibigyan ka ng pera, kung hindi ka masyadong magastos, meron kang ipon. Being not so disciplined yet, this equation did not work for me. Why? Every time meron pang pera, hindi ko naman iniisip ng bata ko na ito first source of capital ko. So, iniisip ko ang pera panggastos lang. Never ko naisip na yung pera pala pwede rin panggastos para bilhin yung kinabukasan. When I was working, the equation became worse. Expenses minus income equaled utang. My expenses was much higher than the income that is coming into the household. How do I fill the gap? Nangungutang. Kaya nalubog ako sa credit card debt, admittedly. But of course, ngayon nakaahon na. Expenses minus income equals utang is terribly wrong. So do not follow that equation. Okay? The right equation is income minus savings equals expenses. Okay? So, how much do we need to save? In Mr. Colayco's book, Wealth Within Your Reach, he espouses the 80-20 rule. What does that mean? Sabi niya, from your active income, sana 80% is enough already. 20% you get to save and invest. Okay? 80-20. The 20% that you are saving will probably give you the wealth that you will need for the rest of your lifetime. Okay? But admittedly, I myself, with Mr. Colayco from the start, when we were doing financial literacy, I myself, at the start, and even up to now, is having difficulty following 20% of my active income saved right away. I even complained right away at nag-react ako kay Mr. Colayco nung una niyang sinasabi sa akin yung 80-20 rule. Sabi ko, Mr. Colayco, parang mahirap yatang biglang magtipid ng 20%. Lalo na may nakasanayan tayong lifestyle. Sabi ni Mr. Colayco, yes, probably, but that's my initial reaction. But you have to further study how your money in and money out is. So, he kept reminding me about needs versus wants. Or, yung pagtitipid or savings, hindi naman lahat yan nanggagaling from the money that you that came in and money that you will put away right away. It is how your lifestyle is. And he reminded me and gave me a very profound statement. Not because you cannot do everything, you do nothing. Start with something. If you cannot do 80-20, saving 20% right away of your salary, then start with what I did, 3%. Today, after 10 years, I still haven't or cannot follow the 80-20 rule, but I'm saving about 16 to 17% of my active income right away. The key, one of the key, is to know when you are spending. Is it for needs or for wants? Let's take the case of one particular need. Alam natin, kailangan ng lahat ng tao. Sabon, soap. Obviously, all of us would say, we need it. Okay? But when I check the soaps, yung mga sabon sa grocery, went to the aisle where nandoon ang mga soap. At the start of this year, I asked the merchandiser present doon sa aisle ng supermarket. Tinanong ko kagad ano yung pinakamurang sabon because admittedly, hindi ako nag-grocery kapag nag-grocery ang pamilya. Yung nanay lang at pag minsan yung anak ko ang nag-grocery. Ako, minsan pumasok sa grocery, tiningnan ko yung sabon because everyone would buy a soap. And yung sabon na pinakamura, I learned, is yung pinakamahinang mabenta. Reasonably priced at 9 pesos per bar soap at a particular size. But I was told, hindi yun mabentang sabon. Bakit daw? Yung mga bumibili ng sabon, because of advertisements, commercial, or media, na-influence na kung anong klaseng sabon ang bibilin. There is this popular commercial running for decades already na lumalabas ang konsensya pag bibili na ng sabon si nanay. That soap, without naming the brand, that has germ protection, because naiisip o na-influence na lahat ng mga nanay, if you love your children, you want some germ protection for them, ang bibilin mong sabon, yung mas mahal na sabon. But if you check the price, from 9 pesos to 19 pesos already. Yung isang commercial, advertisement sa TV, about a woman, a wife probably, who is very conscious about her physical attributes, kailangan niya ng pampalambot ng kanyang kutis, would be concerned or would want to have a soap that has moisturizer. But if you check the price, mahigit doble na compared to the 9 peso soap. The best-selling soaps the past couple of years is actually the most expensive soap. The kind of soap na mahal at malakas nabibili sa merkado. The whitening soap. Hindi ko na i-contest yan. My point lang is, we have so many choices in buying or which need item to consider. Okay? Hindi natin kaya mag-save 20% of our salary, but probably in the way we spend, pwede tayo makatipid from 100% even to 400% more just in one item alone in our grocery activities, probably every week or every 2 weeks. What is the point? Be conscious on your need and your want. Sa needs and wants nyo, baka doon pa lang makatipid na kayo at ma-cover nyo yung dapat na 80-20 na rule in saving. Still on the first commandment, what are the reasons for saving? Okay? There are 3 reasons for saving. Save to use, save to keep, save to share. Even our desire to help our family, our friends, or a community, kailangan pinaghahandaan din natin yan. And that is in the form of savings. Save to use, yan yung mga bagay na malamang short term. Nag-iipon kayo para in 10 months or in 1 year, makabili kayo ng bagong sapatos, mamahaling damit siguro, or even your gadget. Save to use, short-term period lang ang nilaan nyo para ma-enjoy nyo na kagad yung effort or yung endeavor nyo to save. Save to keep is something medium-term to long-term. Yung iniipon nyo, malamang ininvest at pinalago nyo, gagamitin nyo yung proceeds after 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, or even upon retirement. Save to use, save to keep, and of course, save to share. Those are the 3 reasons why you are saving. So don't put it all in save to use, na lahat ng inipon natin kailangan makamit o mabili natin at lahat ng proceeds magamit natin at the end of 1 year. Ihati-hati nyo. Save to use, save to keep, save to share. Come up with 3 accounts, 3 piggy banks. Lahat ng account na yon pinaglalagyan nyo o hinuhulugan nyo kung meron kayong 3 alkansya. Save to use, save to keep, save to share. How do we start our saving endeavor? Lalo na kung ngayon nyo lang kayo magde-decide, sige, hahawakan ko ang aking buhay pananalapi, mag-umpisa ako mag-ipon, magpalago ng pera. In the next 100 days, follow your money. Wala pa kayong pag-iipon na gagawin. Wala pa kayong investing na gagawin. Sundan nyo lang, each and every single day, yung perang pumapasok at perang lumalabas sa inyo, nililista nyo. Put it in your cellphone or come up with a small notebook. In the next 100 days, lahat ng pinaggastosan nyo, from pamasahe, kung kayo naninigarilyo, candy na binili nyo, binili nyong ulam, kumain kayo sa labas, nood kayong sine, may binili kayong panyo, lahat ng ginagastos nyo in a particular day, label it. 100 days. Once you are jotting it down, you label it in the 3 types of expenses. Is this a must-have expense? Or is this a better-to-have expense? And yung pinakagusto natin, as the term connotes, or ito ba like-to-have expenses? Yung must-have, ito yung kailangan mong gastusan na pag hindi mo ginastusan, merong mamimiligro o merong pangit na mangyayari. For example, transportation. Pag naglakad ka na at napakalayo ng bahay nyo sa inyong place of work or sa eskwelahan, baka magkasakit kayo, mamimiligro kayo, or baka maaksidente pa dahil sa kakalakad. Must-have expenses, meron kayong transport money. Better to have, kung dati at sanay naman kayo na nag-jeep, tricycle, nag-taxi kayo, better to have expenses yon. Kaya kapag you follow your money, put as many details as possible. Huwag nyo lang ilagay transport. Anong klaseng transport? Nag-jeep ba ako? Nag-taxi ba ako? O meron akong motor, yung transport ko, fuel cost. At malamang better to have na yun. So, pag minsan, nagkakatalo yung must-have tsaka better to have. Titingnan nyo, yung must-have, ito yung mga nakasanayan yung gastusin at kailangan yung gastusan. Kung medyo tumaas ang gastos dahil iniba nyo doon sa mga usual na ginagawa nyo, pinagagastusan nyo, malamang better to have na yan. Yung like to have expenses, yun yung mga expenses na pag hindi nyo naman ginastusan, hindi naman kayo mamimiligro. Manood kayong sine. Nag-for the boys kayo, kayong mga kalalakihan. Nagpa-food spa kayo. Nagpakulay kayo ng buhok. Like to have expenses yan. Okay? Now, malalaman yung mali ang pag-prioritize nyo sa inyong gastusin kapag nauuna pa at marami pa ang like to have kaysa dun sa must have. Worst, baka yung must have nyo, pinapangutang nyo pa. Pambayad sa kuryente, kinredit card nyo pa. Yung bayad sa matrikula sa eskwelahan, nangutang pa kayo sa kung kanino man kayo nangutang. Your must have, obviously, are your priority expenses. Before nyo mapondohan ng like to have expenses nyo, kailangan covered nyo lahat ang must-have expenses. Once you've identified a way to help you find where you can juice out savings or more savings, come up with a table. List down all your like-to-have expenses. Then tingnan nyo yung record nyo for the 100 days. Magkano ang nagastos nyo para dun sa mga like-to-have expenses na yon? You have two choices now. Will you eliminate it or just reduce it? Kung meron kayong in-eliminate, edi meron kayong ma-identify na savings. Kung meron lang kayong ni-reduce, kung magkano yung ni-reduce nyo, yun ang ilalagay nyong projected savings nyo. You will get to find out because of some like-to-have expenses that you eliminated or just reduced. You will find out, hindi naman pala kayo magiging kawawang-kawawa kapag kayo conscious na sa mga ginagastusan nyo. Lalo na yung like-to-have expenses. This is a real example of 10 like-to-have expense items. It has amounted already to more than 9,000 pesos of possible savings na nakukuha, nabibili, nagagastusan pa nila some of their like-to-have expenses, though not as often because they reduced it. But ang kapalit, they have now ample ammunition for their saving endeavor. Do this table. Kasi kung hindi kayo, one, follow your money and write down each single day and do this table of where to eliminate or reduce, then tama nga kayo, baka wala kayong maiipon. But ang nakakalungkot nun, it is actually very much in your control na kayo makaipon. Do this. Write down in the next 100 days. Label it must have, better to have, like to have. And then attack the like to have expenses, eliminate some, reduce most probably, and you will find out you can juice out more savings. Most Filipinos do not save, are not encouraged to save, and do not know where to put their savings. Why? Savings deposits natin ngayon, ang baba-baba, 0.25%. That simply means if you have 10,000 pesos, put it in a savings account, you don't touch it for a year, you will only earn an absolute amount of 25 pesos. Less withholding tax, you will have a net absolute amount of 20 pesos earned from interest in a savings account. So, hindi nakaka-encourage. Even if mag-time deposit kayo, yung prevailing rate ngayon na 2%, imagine your 10,000 pesos will only earn 200 pesos, less 20% withholding tax. You will just have like 160 pesos for every 10,000. Talagang discouraging. Malamang mas maganda na wag na kayong mag-ipon pa. Why? Dahil yung kalaban natin na inflation, isang part of our commandment, sa inflation pa lang tinatalo na kayo. Because inflation rate, this is the inflation history of the country, makikita na yung inflation na nag-hover around 3%, kung kayo may time deposit na 2% less 20% withholding tax, yung pera nyo umuurong. So, anong ibig sabihin nito ngayon? Kapag kayo nag-iipon, dapat palaguin nyo yung iniipon nyo. Why? Kapag yung inipon nyo, nilagay nyo lang sa ilalim ng unan, as of end of April, -3 lagi ang nawawala sa inyo kung nasa ilalim lang siya ng unan or nasa alkansya lang siya. Kailangan kumikita yung iniipon nyo. At your benchmark is to beat the inflation rate of 3.4% as of end of April. Are there instruments where you can put your savings that can beat the current inflation rate? Obviously, there are. Kaya nga improving investment climate dito sa ating bansa. Isa sa mga binibida o ina-espouse natin sa Seminar School Plus sa Colayco Foundation are mutual funds or pooled funds. The 3 types of mutual funds with the corresponding performances, also the past 3 years, the same period that the inflation averaged 3.4%, all of them are beating the inflation rate. So yung iniipon nyo, dapat wala sa ilalim lang ng unan o nasa alkansya. Dapat napapalago nyo. Kung savings account, kung itong pera na to ay madalas yung dinideposit at wini-withdraw, ginagamit nyo sa pang-araw-araw, for safekeeping, maganda ilagay sa savings account. Pero for wealth generation, it is not for savings or time deposit ang kailangan yung tingnan. Look at mutual funds. Consider investing in the legit, well-managed mutual funds. In fact, this year, miski na nagkaroon ng dapa nitong nakaraang buwan, the best performing mutual funds and all the legit ones are hovering around 13% as of start of July, itong first week of July 2013. From January 2013 to July, first week of July, July 2 to be very specific, 13% growth already ang mutual fund. Ang inflation, 3%, then tinatalo nyo, mga times 3 ang inflation rate. Not bad at all. So, your saving, you should be able to get into an activity that your saving is growing. Okay? Most to save lack the basic requirement. Anong basic requirement kapag nagsasave? Yes, nalagay ko na sa mutual funds, halimbawa ang savings ko, meron pang kulang. May pagkakamali pa. At ano yun? Walang target. You should have a target. Lagi na nga nating nasasabi dito sa Seminar School Plus, purpose, target, timeline. Yung iba kasi, dahil narinig lang siguro dito na maganda ang mutual funds, papasok na sa mutual funds without setting targets. You have to set targets for a purpose na kayo na ang mag-identify. Hindi na namin siguro may tuturo sa inyo at mandidikta for what purpose yung saving and investing endeavor nyo. Pero let's have an exercise. For a clear target of 1 million pesos, you want to save. Okay? You want to save. You have various options. Meaning, if you want your 1 million pesos in 5 years and you can afford to save 16,200 pesos a month, you don't have to look for complicated, sophisticated investments. That 16,200 pesos at 1% will become 1 million pesos after 5 years. You just go to any bank. Pwede nilang mabigay yan. Okay? Kung 10 years naman, 7,900 pesos at 1% a year, compounded. At 15 years, 5,100 lagay nyo sa bangko. After 15 years, that can become 1 million pesos. So nakikita nyo rito, habang humahaba ang panahon, mas maliit ang pwede nyo o kailangan nyong ipunin. But still, you have to save. Habang tumataas yung earning rate, bumababa rin yung kailangan nyong ipunin. I use there at the far end 20% simply because mutual funds have performed somehow, the past 3 years, 20 to 30% even. Okay? Baliktad naman, present value. Anong sabihin ng present value? If you have 951,000 pesos today, you put it in a bank that gives 1% a year, compounded, in 5 years, your 951 will earn 49,000 pesos that will give a total of 1 million pesos. So medyo malaki ang present value o yung pera ngayon na kailangan nyo na hindi nyo gagalawin at inipon nyo na lang siya, pinalago nyo siya sa bangko, it will take 5 years to be 1 million pesos. At 20%, dahil lumalaki ang earning rate or nadadagdagan ng timeline, paliit ng paliit ang kailangan nyong ipunin. For 65,000 pesos, the cost of this MacBook Air, your 65,000 pesos, your MacBook Air is actually 1 million pesos after 15 years. If, for example, you are earning at an average of 20% compounded a year. Okay? There are so many people who have approached us, people who have seen Seminar School Plus in RHTV via the internet or sa inyong mga cable operators, at sinasabi nila at nag-share sila, ito po yung pera nila ngayon at kaya nila mag-ipon buwan-buwan, ano po ba ang pwede kong makuha at marating? Okay? One of the Facebook na nag-post sa Facebook, friends natin sa Facebook, shared with us na meron daw siyang 40,000 pesos. Currently, she is about 26 years old. And she can actually, from now on, save 3,000 pesos a month. This simulation na hinanda ko simply states na yung iniipon nyo, na pinalago nyo, dapat napapakinabangan nyo. That's the essence of saving and investing. What you save for a particular purpose, in a specific timeline, dapat ma-enjoy nyo. Okay? So in this simulation, kung kaya niya mag-start ng 40,000 pesos at mag-ipon ng 3,000 pesos every month, ang hinanda nating simulation sa kanya, after 5 years, pwede siyang merong magamit na 93,300 plus. Kung para saan niya gamitin, bahala na siya ron. Miski na nakuha niya yung 93,000 pesos, on the 10th year, meron na naman siya makukuhang 300,000 pesos. Okay? So, ang nakukuha niya na suma total, 393. Just continuing on what she has initially set out for. At 15%, in 15 years, or after 5 years nung kumuha siya ng 300,000, meron na naman siya makukuhang 1.095 million pesos, or a total of almost 1.5. Magkanong perang lumabas sa kanya? 370,000 over a period of 15 years. And every 5 years thereafter, meron siyang makukuha. From 93,000 on the first 5 years, on the 10th year, 300,000, on the 15th year, 1.095 million. Ganyan po mag-ipon. Merong pinaglalaanan, merong timeline, alam mo kung kailan mo makukuha at a specific period or specific time. Hindi lahat kukunin sa retirement age. Meron kayong mga pagbabago na gagawin sa buhay nyo after 5 years, baka bumili kayo ng sasakyan. On the 10th year, baka meron kayong umpisang sideline. On the 15th year, baka your full retirement, meron kayong contribution sa inyong retirement nest egg. Okay? Ito naman, medyo nilakihan. Merong starting, may pera na siya ngayon na 400,000 pesos. Nakakapag-ipon ng 4,000 pesos a month. We have laid down na on the 5th year, he can expect about 323,000. Kung saan niya gagamitin yon, siya na ang bahala. On the 10th year, meron siya makikiyuhang almost 800,000 pesos. And on the 15th year, almost 3 million or 2.95 million pesos. Suma total, magkano ang na-enjoy o nakubra niyang pera? Over 4 million pesos. Ang perang lumabas sa kanya over a period of 15 years, just 910,000 pesos. This is an important column. This is your target earning rate. I played it very conservatively, 5% on the 5%, 15%, and 20%. And I based that on actual performances that we have seen in our market, particularly or specifically mutual funds or pooled funds. Okay? So, we have come to a portion that kinapos na tayo ng oras, but we have discussed extensively commandment number 1, paying yourself first. Okay? So, allow me to remind you again, the books of Mr. Colayco, where we are basing our 10 commandments in personal finance, wealth within your reach, and all the other titles, books that he has written are all available in national bookstores, power books, fully booked, bookstores nationwide. check the books written by Francisco J. Colayco, the Pera Palaguin series. So, check my Facebook account. Just search Armand Benco. You can share your comment kung anong nagustuhan nyo, anong hindi nyo nagustuhan, ano ang tanong nyo para malaman namin kung nababagay ba o maibabagay namin yung aming mga binabahagi dito sa Seminar School Plus. So this has been Armand Benco of the Colayco Foundation and KSK Co-op, thanking you once again for viewing, attending today's session of Seminar School Plus. See you again next time, same place, here on RH TV.